In this video, I'm going to talk about why you should protect your energy, how you can protect it, and why it's so important. And the main reason why it's so important is because you are capable of taking different actions, making different choices, having a different perspective, and therefore creating different results. And let me show you and create a visual. So, again, you are an energetic human being that has an aura, okay? And we perceive our reality from this vibration, okay? It's a frequency, a certain frequency. And we can attune this frequency with our self-image. Image, okay, vision, imagination. And this is all tied to our emotions, okay? And these things come from within. These things come from within. But then we have society, the matrix, so people in society, okay? And they are all vibrating on their own unique frequency. But, a big but, because they put no value on creating their own unique vision, because it was not allowed in school, okay? They weren't allowed to go within. It wasn't allowed to have a routine created by yourself in an environment that's not influenced by the matrix, not influenced by others. So we have all these things. So this is a phone, television, okay, television, TV. And these things are constantly influencing us vibrationally, okay? And the phone is a little bit better because it can be attuned to different people within your choice, and therefore you control the frequency a bit, okay? But the television, for example, blasts the negative news at you, and therefore it always keeps you on a low vibration, okay? And the phone is a bit up and down, okay? But the algorithms still are in control. What happens? These people, because they have never learned to control their own frequency, control their own vision, their unique energy becomes lower. So maybe they are only operating on 5% or 10% of their own unique thinking, their own unique energy, okay? And a big 90% is controlled by the people in the environment, okay? It's controlled by the television, it's controlled by the phone. So their perspective is 10% their own and 90% program, okay? And we take our actions, so this is a person and these are choices we are capable of perceiving in reality, okay? These are different timelines we are capable of perceiving in reality. And if you control 10% of your own choices because you do not control your vibration, and 90% is controlled by the environment, and the environment is set up in such a way that they make it very hard for you to achieve freedom and control your own routine. So the matrix is set up in such a way that if you fall below this frequency, the routine is controlled by the environment, controlled by the matrix, okay? By matrix. Reptilian brain, okay? And this keeps you stuck in traffic, okay? This keeps you stuck in toxic people and friends. This keeps you stuck in going to a job you dislike and does not allow you to evolve, okay? This keeps you stuck in watching not important things, and this will always keep you stuck in a routine that's not controlled by yourself, and it keeps you in a loop. Okay, and you have to start to go within. You have to create boundaries. Okay, you have to start going to nature. Okay, you have to start to use plants from nature to go within, create a higher awareness, create a higher consciousness. Because if you can make more brain connections, okay, you are able to create a better image, imagination, vision, and self-image. And this allows you to attune to your own unique frequency, and therefore this percentage goes down, the programming goes down, and your own unique energy goes up. So we want this to at least, go to 70% or 80%, okay? And then when that happens, you control the timeline, okay? You will say, hey, listen, I'm not gonna work. I'm not gonna do that stuff. It's not beneficial for my long-term goal. Because when you are capable of making more brain connections, okay, you are capable of seeing a long-term vision on life, not days, but years, okay? Years. And you will realize, oh wait, if I continue working in that job, if I continue working with these people, if I continue drinking alcohol, whatever, I will always stay stuck in this timeline, okay? In these timelines. And I don't want to be in these timelines because I'm a slave, I'm a sheep. I will get injected, okay? These people aren't capable of making their own choices because they are operating from brainwashing, and they aren't in control of their own self-image, or own vision, their own imagination. And what you actually want to do is create boundaries. Go within, make more brain connections, see life with more depth, see a longer term vision, because this allows you to attune to your soul mission, to your highest timeline, okay? The only reason I can make these sketches, the only reason I can talk to you about this stuff is because I've been through this process for years. I've been disconnecting. I've not had a normal job for over 6 years. I've been traveling around the world. I've been doing stuff online. I've not been in this matrix for so many years, and this is the only reason I'm capable of understanding it. I'm capable of seeing things outside of the box. Okay, and so many people, if you are stuck in this slave energy that we keep each other in, okay, you are a slave of the system. You are blind to reality. Okay, blind to reality. And this creates a lot of problems, because deep from within, people understand there's something wrong, but they don't understand what's really wrong. Okay, so they will go to a doctor, they say I'm depressed, they get pills, and all these pills that are created, that are like accepted for human consumption, they made sure before they gave it to the people, before they accepted that type of medicine, that it did not raise consciousness, okay, that it did not make more brain connections, that it did not raise the ability to allow you to vibrate on your unique frequency. Because the only way how the rich, the elite, stay on top is when people stay in a low consciousness, when they stay in the programming, okay, when they stop vibrating at their own unique soul frequency. Because that's the game of life. It's not achieving a higher number on your bank account. It is raising your energy. It's raising your energy, creating connections from your own unique frequency, seeing a long-term vision on this human reincarnation, okay? And then controlling your habits, controlling your routine to become the best version of yourself and create the biggest impact on reality. That's the game. That's the real game. And we are programmed to play a game of validation. Okay, get more money, get more whatever that society deems as, successful, and then we achieve those things, and then people get a midlife crisis. And I had a lot of sales calls in my life where I was helping people to get more freedom for a company, and all these people that were talking to me were successful entrepreneurs or successful people within businesses, and they all told me, Tim, I did everything society told me, but I'm still unhappy. And the real reason you are unhappy because you are stuck on a timeline that's not your own. Okay, it's a programmed timeline. Understand this. It's not about getting more possessions and stuff, it's being on the higher frequency, because the higher you vibrate, the happier you are. But also, the more you see life with more depth, you're smarter. And this is an interesting topic, because we get learned in the school system, in the matrix system, that smart equals possessions. Okay, smart equals a higher degree. Smart equals a good job. Okay, but let me tell you that smart has nothing to do with those stuff. Okay, it's just a shallow representation of being smart. Okay, being smart has way more depth. Okay, there are very stupid people with low level of consciousness, okay, that achieve high roles within companies, and they earn a lot of money. They are validated by the environment. They have like a good job. Everything from the outside world, from the physical, they are very successful, but from within they are broken. Okay, they are broken from within, and they are on a very, very, very low frequency. Even they have a lot of stuff. And then what they are doing, they are trying to use short-term dopamine spikes to get them on this high frequency for a short period, but it's an endless loop, because they get back to baseline. You can only stay on a high baseline of happiness when you have high values. Okay, values. Because if you have high values, you start to vibrate to your soul level, to your soul frequency. Your soul and your body is trying to get closer, but the more karma you're building, the less your soul, your highest version of yourself, is capable of connecting with your body. And when your body is connected to your soul, you can perceive things from a timeless space and see timelines that your human reincarnation can choose. Okay, but because we get all these toxins in our body and bad habits, distraction, we aren't capable of listening to our body. We aren't capable of listening to our heart, because our heart is connected to the soul. Okay, that's why I always say let the heart control the mind, because your heart is connected to a higher level of consciousness. And this is what's happening in current reality. We are stuck in timelines that are programmed inside of us, okay? And what we actually want to do is we want to get back to nature. Nature allows us to go within. Nature allows us to understand that all the happiness you are searching in the external world is just a short-term happiness, okay? Short-term. And the real, true happiness you are searching comes from within. A good example. I've traveled to so many different countries. I've been in so many different cultures. And what one culture makes them very happy doesn't have to equal happiness for the other culture. Okay. In certain cultures, people can be very happy with little things and with certain stuff. And in other cultures, it doesn't create any dopamine. And that's because of the programming. Okay. That's because of the matrix they are stuck in. Okay. The matrix they are stuck in equals what creates dopamine for that society. Okay? And what you actually want to do is vibrate at your own unique frequency, and then you start to decide what equals happiness for you. Here's your real power. This is you. This is you, okay? And the programming that comes external is not you. It's magic. Magic. And because we aren't capable of going within, we aren't capable of truly feeling what's happening on the inside. Because most of the time our body is communicating with us, our heart is communicating with us, our soul is communicating with us. But because we're so disconnected in our reptilian brain, we only feel this part. We are controlled by this part, okay? And we want to get back in our highest unique frequency so we can operate from the whole part instead of just the program part. No, these are just minions, just a number. And what we want to do here, this is a unique human being, evolved unique human being. We are here to evolve, okay? The game is to evolve in this lifetime. Evolving to our spiritual aspect. Evolving to our unique frequency. Evolving to something that can make this world a better place. Better place. And if you have thoughts right now, how can I make this world a better place? That's your programming. You cannot know how you're gonna make this world a better place. It's within you and you have to discover it. You have to discover your own unique soul mission. But that can only be done when you remove the programming. The problem is not outside, okay? The real problem is on the inside. The whole world is in your own mind. If you don't know how to get to your goals right now, it's because you aren't going within. Because when you change it within, you change it without. This is just 99% empty, okay? It's a liquid. It's a vibration. And the only thing that collapses reality in the way it is right now is based on your view of reality. So maybe you've noticed in your life that once you grow older, you become more effective. You start to take more effective actions. You create bigger results. That has nothing to do that the outside world all of a sudden became different. Because if that was the case, everyone would get a better life. That's not true. You got a better life and your friends are still stuck on a certain level. Or you are still stuck on a certain level and other people you know got a better life. Okay? So you will start to understand that it's not the outside. It's the inside. Okay? There can be very rich people in the same environment as very poor people. And that means that it's not the environment, it's the lack of awareness. And awareness is the frequency on the inside world. The awareness you've built by mixing in different frequencies, by watching different frequencies, adapting your unconscious brain, okay? Adapting your unconscious brain so you can take effective actions. And then, when you take effective actions, you are attuning to your highest level timeline. And even if these actions are effective in the outside world, but they are not connected to your soul mission, you will never reach the highest level of vibration. So money is a tool. Not a goal. is a tool, not goal. Okay. High vibration is the goal. High awareness is the goal. Okay. And that equals money. That equals money. With very little actions, okay? Let me change the belief system right now. Working hard is not smart. It's maybe something you never heard before, huh? Working hard is not smart. Because, let me tell you why. You can work very, very, very hard. You actually are forced to work very hard in these lower vibrating timelines. The reason they want you to work hard is so you stay stuck here. You aren't capable of getting on a higher vibration, making more brain connections, and therefore seeing the long-term vision and changing your habits. That's the only reason they say in society work hard, is because they want you to work hard for their company. They want you to work hard so they become successful. Okay? What you actually want to do is stop working. Stop working and go within. Create more awareness, create more brain connections. Protect your energy, protect your values. Start to see life with more depth. Go within. Start to connect to a higher self of yourself. And start to understand what's the reason? What's the reason? Why am I here? What's the point? Ask the bigger questions. And then you will start to see that you are here to break this system. Break this matrix frequency. And you should not observe it as something bad. You should just create awareness because, someone needs to cook your food. Someone needs to do what you need, okay? So it's not bad. It just is. It just is, and it can be very beneficial if you don't get sucked into it. Okay? So this highest timeline is only great because there are lower timelines, okay? That's the great things about this human experience. There are lower timelines, which makes the higher timeline good. And with this information, you will start to attune to this highest timeline. That makes it great. But only if you are capable of going within and use more of your brain. Use more of your potential, and that's by not working. Not working. Meditation. Nature. Okay. And these things are here to integrate your unique frequency, integrate your unique vibration. And I'm not saying stay here forever. No, I'm not saying that. Because you also have to mix with smart people. Okay. And again, this is also a certain vibration. And you can get sucked in this vibration. And that's okay. That's okay because it evolves you as a human. But if you stay stuck in this, you will never operate from your own unique vibration, okay? And that's the point of life. Acting from your own unique vibration, acting from your own unique vision and goals. You will have more money being in this smart people vibration, but you will always have a routine that's not fully in control of yourself. So you will build wealth, you will build a better life, which is already, a higher timeline than the lower ones, but it's not the highest where you can get back to your true self. And that's the point. You have to work with smart people to understand the highest leverage actions you can take to keep your freedom, build wealth, and create a situation where you can protect your energy. So even if you mix with smart people, at some point you have to get back in your own energy again and integrate it. That's the point. If you stay stuck here, you're still a slave, a more wealthier slave, a more dopamine, more a higher level of reality, and that's great. A lot of people are joyful here and happy for a very long time, but deep inside they know there's something lacking, and they stay in this perpetuous loop of trying to externally fill it. And that's an endless game. You cannot fill your happiness from the inside. You can only achieve it by locking in high leverage actions that have a big effect on this reality, while staying true to your values and changing this world in your own unique way and making it a better place. That's where true happiness is, okay? So you see a lot of companies and they create toxic products, and that's because they are stuck in this smart people vibration. They have created a lot of awareness, but the values are lacking. And what we want to do is we want to combine awareness with values. That's the point. Because here's true happiness and here's external happiness. Okay. True happiness is here from within, and this is awareness from without. And when we combine the two, we have happy life plus getting whatever you want. But the best thing about this thing is you don't need these things to be happy. Okay? You need to stay true to yourself, true self. You need to imagine life from a perspective that it's the end of your life. See life is the end, okay? Here. Life, end, okay? How does your life look like when your soul leaves your body and he looks back at your lifetime? Start to have this image in your mind. How would he feel? Numbers do not matter here, okay? Numbers do not matter. What matters is, did you make this world a better place the moment you were here? Imagine you already had thousands of timelines, thousands of lifetimes, thousands of reincarnations. The problem is you cannot remember them. But once you start to get a glimpse by using the right spiritual plans, which, are not allowed in society, which you are programmed to be scared of. And the only reason you're programmed of these spiritual plans, the only reason stuff is not allowed and alcohol is allowed, is because they want you to keep you in this brainwashed vibration. They want you in this controllable frequency. They don't want you in your unique frequency, because if you would start to see things from a higher perspective. You would make more brain connections, okay? Reality would adapt to your inner world, okay? You would start choosing a higher timeline because you start to understand, hey, wait, I was already stuck 15 lifetimes in these lower energies, okay? I don't want this. I'm gonna remove this option from my mind. I'm gonna totally remove this. It's not an option anymore. I'd rather stay on the street begging for money and creating awareness, being in nature, than staying stuck in this vibration, because this equals more pain, mental pain. That's what you want to do. You have to understand, there is no other option than getting back on my highest timeline, because I will not allow this timeline to be wasted. I will not allow the matrix that has already been controlling so many lifetimes of your family tree, okay? Of your past lives. I will not allow it. I will not leave this world as a soul failing to make this world a better place. And that's the point. That's the point of life. Okay? And that's the reason why you should protect your energy. That's why the reason you should not go to school. That's the reason why you should not go to work. That's the reason why you should go to nature. Okay, very big thing. I'm happy that I can make it a little bit more visual for people, so it's easier to understand. It's quite big topics. Yeah, I hope something learned. If you want to go more in depth, you want to have practical tools and things to protect your energy, there's a link down below. Everything you need to get back in your unique frequency and start living your soul mission, the reason you are here on earth. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day.